I met a gypsy.
All right, so just to start this thing off, who would win in a round of golf between you three sitting up there?
If my driver's good, if my medals are good, me, but screwed me over this past day.
Are we going on like who would win with who could lose many balls, or are we going strokes wise? Because if it's going losing balls, we would have a very big lead.
Just strokes. I mean, who's shooting better?
Hunter and I have played together. I've never played with Jett, but
Yeah, we played.
when Hunter and I played, it was not pretty.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't pretty by any means. We were just out there on the course. I wouldn't say we were playing, but yeah, the strokes add up.
I think we all have our days, but
Yeah, and it gets if we're feeling good, we're good. But then if stuff goes wrong, our solution is to swing harder. So then it gets even worse. So
Okay, I like it. Thanks, guys.
I think it's even. Whoever's
Great
feeling
job.
good.
Yeah, sweet.
Thank you, Levi Kitchen. For those that didn't see the camera on him, that was Levi Kitchen. I'll go full serious Moto Media question right now, Jett. Congratulations, 24-0 now. You can actually you can kind of claim that. I've seen people say that 22-0 is not 24-0, so you've got that one now. Looked like in the second moto from where I was standing, very, very active in the rear end of the bike. Did you guys maybe miss the mark a tiny bit setup-wise? And I guess you make it look easy when you go 1-1, but if the bike isn't working the way maybe you wanted it to, does that kind of make it a little bit more of a harder day at the office than maybe you would have liked?
I think definitely when the bike's not kind of working as well as you want it to be, you have to put a little bit more effort everywhere else just to kind of hold it down, or whatever it's doing. You need to kind of adjust for that and use that bit more strength to hold it. And yeah, I mean the first moto was the worst. I could say I kind of was at a bit of a limit. I couldn't push too hard. I could kind of push a little hard at the start when the bumps weren't so vicious, but once we got later, halfway and later, it kind of got a little worse when I tried to use more flow. We got it sorted for the second one, but ended up kind of going more to the front a little bit more. And but thankfully we were able to push if it was precise enough. And but it's good to finally get 24-0 to kind of match Ricky and James. But no, we're gonna go back to the drawing board, look at some stuff and improve that, but then also improve myself. Because obviously in Supercross, I think we're a little heavier with our legs, and we don't move them as much because we have such stiff suspension. So we try and get the suspension to work more, where in outdoors you use your legs a lot more. So I think throughout the season, I think it will just get better and better and kind of get my motor legs more and more.
Chase, do you think the KTM is a little bit better of a bike? Not better of a bike, but I guess a better starting point when it comes to outdoors. I'm guessing that to jump on a brand new bike for Supercross, you don't get a lot of time on an outdoor track. You kind of just have to go straight into training in that Supercross lane. Does it help, or is it a bit easier of a platform to get used to a new bike in motocross?
yeah, I would say it's a lot easier in outdoors. I think that comes with how much testing they have with MXGP. I mean, if you look at the class over there, I mean, I feel like most of it is KTM based. 250 class for sure, 450 class not as much, but they have a lot more data and a lot more time with the bike. For me in Supercross, I went completely the opposite direction of what everyone else was doing last year and years past. So it took me a while to get the bike where I wanted it. Outdoors were definitely closer. So yeah, I would feel like it definitely works better outdoors. It's a pretty, I feel like, stable bike, so that's nice. And today coming down the hills was good. Not the greatest in the corners, but we were able to go downhill fast, so that was nice. But yeah, we have some work to do, and just be an evolution for the whole season.
And just to follow up on that, do you have a sense that this bike and yourself could be quite a bit better when we head east? Because you really don't. I mean, I saw you ride Parla here a couple Mondays ago, but I'm guessing that
it wasn't great.
You look pretty good, but I'm guessing that going east is going to be much more comfortable, and you're going to have more data personally on the East Coast tracks.
Yeah, definitely. I've never considered myself a sand guy. I grew up riding hard packed and ruts, and when I got on this bike, I actually prefer riding the sand more now than the hard pack, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. But the bike seems to work pretty well. It's a stiffer chassis, so I would say that helps me in the deeper conditions. So we'll see. Southwick's not one of my favorite tracks, but hopefully this year it pays off and we can go out there and put in a good result. But the bike is definitely, I would say, better on softer tracks.
Hunter, this one's for you, brother. Not so much a question, but I guess just wanted to hear your thoughts, or like maybe let the fans at home know about the process that goes into making a gear. You and Jose have nailed some of maybe the cooler collabs gear-wise. Just in your own words, like what's the process? Where do you draw inspiration from? Obviously, a post on Alpine Star's social media of you, the McLaren boys in F1, like. It's pretty cool the way that you guys cook these things up.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's maybe we need to give more insight that what goes into it, because it starts like months and months and months in advance, and it goes through so many channels. Like, for this one, long story short, once we get the design of the gear and McLaren has this is what the livery is going to be. This is what Alpine Stars does the kits. They submit to all sponsors. Everyone checks off it. Then it gets presented to the actual Senna family. Same with my kit, and they have to sign off on it. Obviously, it's about they're one of their own, so they have the final word, whether yay or nay. And they loved it for everyone's stuff this year, and it's pretty crazy. I'm a huge car fan and love motorsport racing, and to have, one of the biggest names in Formula One, and to have a tribute kit with McLaren F1 in Monaco. Pecco Bagnaia, he had the gloves as well in I can't remember where they were racing this weekend in MotoGP, but it's pretty honourable to do that. And like I said, being motorsport car based is just like hold that pretty close. That's special.
And sorry, guys.
The gear was sick. I was a big fan.
Yeah.
I was pretty jealous. I was looking. I'm like, that's probably one of the best kits. The boots, I saw them on Thursday. I'm like, oh god, this gear is gonna be sick.
Yeah. It's cool because I think, and I speak for myself, when other guys have a one-off kit or something, like there's no ego in saying, it doesn't look good because I don't have it. Like anyone can recognize a good kit and go, you know what, tip of the cap, and that was really cool. Like everyone, I'm sure social media will have their own opinions like they always do, but everyone here today that exists and as a person, they loved it, which is cool. And it's funny to think it's just for content and a tip of the cap at the end of the day, to celebrate 30 years, since his unfortunate passing at Imola, which was last weekend, but this exact date.
Yeah, and I just think it's cool that a brand like Alpine Stars can actually like tie together all of these different sports. I know you guys are F1 and MotoGP fans, and I know that all of the F1 and all of the MotoGP guys are huge fans of what you do. So there's not a lot of opportunities that we get to bridge the gap in the sport, but I feel like those kind of gear combos are a way to do that for you guys.
Absolutely. Like the Gibson one with music and action sports. It's two different worlds and stuff, and I think the gears and the F1 boys that's trending in Brazil on all of social media, like the Brazil social media side of things is crazy. The repost, the Brazilian flags, they go wild on that stuff. So it's epic.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.